My father always says to me, "Oh, Roberta, if you spent as much time on your soul as you did on your body, you would be such an honorable woman." People are always telling me it's the inside that counts. And then there's those guys in high school. He said, "You're really an ugly girl, but I like the way you play." And I died, but I thanked him. Can you believe it? Sick, 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 holding on to his picture, dressing up every day. From school age all the way through my 20s, and now in my 30s, I've had and have what would be deemed by others as self-esteem issues. At the same time as I think I've got it going on, and I'm outgoing, I'm constantly tending to and concerned over my facial and bodily imperfections. I'm always second-guessing myself, saying sorry to people who seem to hold on to a greater sense of power and control. I laugh nervously, I blush purple, and I find it hard to articulate myself in front of groups of people in situations that a lot of others handle with relative ease. I guess I have a kind of a choppy form of self-esteem. Now, I can also be a bitch, manipulative, controlling, and hypocritical. I am by no means a sweet pushover or some kind of victim. Anyways, I have a question for some of you, and I pose this question to you and your more proud self too, Roberta. What is it you guys out there, you guys who aim for your self-esteem to be relatively high and consistent, or who believe that your self-esteem is relatively high and consistent, you guys out there with your yoga and your support groups and your healthy diets, what is it you guys so consistently love and admire about yourself and your potential? Do you not ever have a problem with that part of you that wastes time watching TV or talking on the phone or surfing the net when you know you could actually be contributing something to society? Don't you feel so proud of yourself after you say something totally unnecessary and insulting to a loved one? Do you feel like rocking on when you remember that one of your balls hangs like lower than the other one? Do you mothers out there in all trueness never question the fact that your kid's bedtime is your favorite time of day? Or wonder why when you eat sushi, you get a bit of an urge to feed a chunk of wasabi sauce to your baby? Don't you just feel so in love with yourself and your wife when you have hot, sweaty, impure thoughts about every other woman but her? Does the Virgin Mary pop into mind as you're giving it to yet another date who during the day gives you a mild case of the heebie-jeebies? My guess is you might be able to relate to at least one of these in part, and that self-esteem is affected or put into question by such situations. The trick is to find a way to love and care for these parts of us without just eliminating them from our characters in the name of self-esteem. As Thomas More discusses in his book, Care of the Soul, self-esteem today actually means loving that person we know and project as ourselves. That image that we work to show off on Commercial Drive or Robson Street, or at work, in our apartment complex, or even within our family. Self-esteem means loving that person that is morally acceptable and easy to love. I'm a good person. I give money to poor people, and I have a good job. I'm talented. I'm a good friend and a decent grandmother. My ass isn't bad looking either. But what about the parts of us that are dark and ugly? We can love that we manage to look good, but can we love the part of us that's exhausted from managing? Or even the part that does so much work to look successful and look appealing and sound like we know what we're talking about and smell all rosy and Listerine-y? Can we love that we hate ourselves, The hours spent suffering, the lack of faith we have in ourselves, were we stripped of the tricks and identities we've known up to this point? Our hair, our composure, our wives or husbands, our artistic talent and our creativity, our drugs, our good singing voices. This is so adorable and so humorous that these things are so serious. And oh, how we long for that something else in us to be seen, because we know it's there and we know it's just as lovely. That I would be fine even if I went bankrupt. That I would be good if I lost my hair and my youth. That I would be great if I was no longer queen. That I would be grand even if I kept on singing. That I would be loved even when I'm not myself. That I would be good even when I am overwhelmed. That I would be loved even when I was fuming. That I would be good even if I was clinging. See, normally my voice just flows like a river, but I guess it's my low self-esteem kicking in again. Let's just take this little word with such a big meaning, self, and let's recognize just how boring it sounds and how we really don't know how much it encompasses, yet we put all this emphasis into it. She's gonna have to start thinking for herself. Oh, he's not really himself today. Ugh, I'm not gonna get lucky tonight. Guess I'm gonna have to play with myself again. Boring, uncolorful, ugly word, self. We need a new word, damn it. Let's at least sometimes use the other words for talking about what makes up our personalities. Words used by perfectly respectable people and by famous and beautiful psychologists, Carl Jung and James Hillman. Soul, angel, daemon, anima. As Hillman states in his book Interviews, these give the sense of something beyond me as an ego and a self. When you use the word anima, you know you are talking about a half-presence, a ghost kind of body. Very exciting. These are just other words for the unconscious. In his book In Search, Hillman says the unconscious is always immediately at hand. We fall over our complexes daily. Coming into a room, we catch sight of a man we fear, someone to whom we owe money, a woman we once loved, and our whole posture, facial expression, changes. We may block over a name, blush, or tremble. The voice will drop to a whisper, hi, or rise nasally, hey. We say something we never meant to say at all. In society, one is constantly at the mercy of the unconscious and its complexes, as we strain to impress, attempt to withdraw, and make our foolish demands.